And joining me on this part of India First on President's historic sortie and photograph are Air Marshal Sanjeev Kapoor, former Director General Flight Safety and Inspections, and Sandeep Unnithan, my colleague and senior journalist. Air Marshal Kapoor, what was President Murmu's message when she flew on board the Rafale at the Ambala Air Base? What's the message to India and the world, sir?
Good evening to you, Sandeep, and the viewers. The message is loud and clear. When the Supreme Commander sits in the frontline fighters of that country and she takes to the sky, it's not only an experience which the people are seeing. She, by this action, is conveying that as the Supreme Commander, she is very much in control of the activities that are going on. These kind of events are morale boosters for the people on ground, the field, and also conveys that I don't think so any president in anywhere in the world would have flown two fighters during their tenure ever while being in the office. So this is a symbol of resilience, a symbol of motivation, and connect with the people on ground who have done
and beyond the symbolism,
well.
Beyond the symbolism, Sandeep, that picture with Shivangi Singh, it very clearly exposes that Pakistani propaganda of an Indian Air Force pilot being taken prisoner and those Pakistani false claims about shooting down Indian fighter jets, including Rafale.
Absolutely, Gaurav. Looking at that photograph today, that historic photograph of the Supreme Commander with Rafale's first fighter pilot, Shivangi Singh, brings to mind that possibly the Indian Air Force has learned the art of trolling the trolls. And this is what the Pakistan military put out during Operation Sindoor, all those false claims that were amplified by global news channels, the fact that they had claimed to have shot down a Rafale and captured a female pilot. But Gaurav, there's another big message over here in that photograph today, and that is the fact that it is the 10th anniversary of the government opening the fighter stream to women. That's a very historic decision that was taken exactly 10 years ago in October 2015. And of course, the first pilots that came out were commissioned they became fighter jet pilots in 2016. You've seen a whole lot of them coming out of, there are 16 fighter jet pilots today in the Air Force, flying all platforms from the Rafales to the Su-30s to the MiG-29. So it's a very historic day for the Indian Air Force, Gaurav, the fact that it's been almost a decade now since you have women flying fighter jets, frontline fighter aircraft like the Rafale. And I think that photograph today is historic in the sense that it conveys so many messages in that one photograph. It is the ultimate epitome of Nari Shakti, if you can see it, whether it is a Supreme Commander or it is a woman pilot flying a frontline fighter aircraft. And also
and Pakistani lies.
The Pakistani military.
Oh, absolutely. Including a Qatari news channel. I mean, they carried out all that information without any verification. But Marshal Kapoor, so far, we've only seen pictures of external drop tanks in public domain during Operation Sindoor. And mistakenly, there were elements who claimed fighter jets were downed. Is there any evidence to suggest that Pakistan shot down Indian fighters? Pakistanis had apparently even given out some tail numbers of Rafales and other jets, sir.
Yes, I read that. And I also read that the same tail numbers are participating in an international exercise with the United States in the coming days. So I have been on your program number of times, and I've been saying it time and again, that this country has a habit of lying everything. They lie on every activity with straight face. Now, since this morning when Shivangi's picture, and if you recall, you just saw when Air Marshal Tejveer Singh handed over the qualified flying instructors certificate to her. At that stage, I saw a lot of tweets going about, but the other side was mum. But when the hostilities of Op Sindoor was going on, for every response, they said that we have Shivangi in captivity. And I think so, I said on your channel that when Abhinandan was with them, they didn't take even 2 minutes to bring him in front of the cameras. And if
Yes.
hypothetically at that stage, I didn't know that if she was in captivity, they would have just brought her in front of the cameras just to show the whole world. So they have been nothing but lies and lies. And as usual, they'll be, quiet. And the narrative which the social media has, the ISI controlled handles will either block it or they will give a narrative, a twist of some sort. And jokingly, I had said the other day on some other channel that they will say that the Indians painted the tail number again, to show that these aircrafts are down and then send them to United States. So they can, bluff and talk anything. But I don't think so. This picture, which stands in the middle of our frame today, has a more better caption than what Sandeep summed it up.
Oh, absolutely. And Sandeep, we heard Air Chief say, let Pakistan assume and factor in less aircraft in the next round of Operation Sindoor, or words to that effect. But in this era of information warfare, when even US President Donald Trump talks of 7 shining planes being shot down, he never said Indian planes. He said he was reading 7 shining new planes were shot down. The Pakistanis presume it's Indian. Indians have said that 10 to 14 Pakistani planes were shot down. So this is information warfare and disinformation at its peak.
Absolutely, Gaurav. And during Operation Sindoor, we've seen a 6th dimension of warfare, that we've seen land, sea, and air, space, and cyber in previous conflicts. But this is the first time that we've seen that 6th dimension of conflict, which is the narrative warfare taking center stage. And a country that's been seen its radar sites shattered, command and control posts shattered, airfields hold, runways unusable, and the entire Pakistan Air Force operating in airfields in depth, which means they fled their frontline air bases, keeps on with this, parroting this line of having claimed to have shot down several Indian Air Force jets. So, it is that old Gobelesian saying that if you repeat a lie 1,000 times, it becomes a truth. And I think in this case, Pakistan seems to be, fervently believe, a fervent advocate in that Gobelesian norm of repeating a lie 1,000 times. And, they still haven't repaired many of their radars. Some of those airfields have been patched up. The work is on in many of those other places. It's been 6 months now, Gaurav, but they continue to parrot that line and, of course, have other very influential figures repeat that after them, Gaurav.
The last 30 seconds I have on this part of the show, Marshal Kapoor. 1, information warfare is something that India need to do more, or does this strategic ambiguity help India's case? And is this more a fight between the arms bazaar? Pakistan buys its weapons either from China or gets it as arms and dole, or the F-16s that came from America. So is it the American and the Chinese weapons lobby versus the Russian and French weapons lobby that's fighting it out?
Maybe an angle to what you're saying, but this is absolutely clear that we need to work on our information war. There is absolutely no doubt. Our narratives are not good, not world class. And we have to have a central agency, the government agency, could it be under information and broadcasting, could be under any vertical of the government, which should give the government's narrative about every conflict, of every issue. The nation should know that this is the official position and this is what.
No, it should just put out facts. It should just put out facts. If Pakistani planes have been downed, why are we told those facts after 3 months? We should have been told immediately that an S-400 had taken down a Pakistani airborne early warning system when it had taken it down, instead of being told 3 months later. But be that as it may, perhaps that's a debate for another time. I've run out of time on this part of the show, but a longer show on information warfare, the 6th dimension of war, that's coming up on the Battle Cry with Marshal Kapoor and Sandeep Unnithan very soon on India Today.